Ooh, hello everyone, Anthony here. I just wanted to share a quick thought that I had because there's a lot of concern about liquidity leaving Uniswap for cloned decentralized exchanges like Sushiswap. I wanted to give some of my thoughts on this and why I don't think that's a concern, or I guess like not that I don't think it's a concern, but I guess more importantly, or what I'm trying to say is this message might be trying to convince you guys not to put your liquidity into Sushiswap or clone decentralized exchanges. So I guess for like clarity's sake or whatever, I do have a good amount of money in providing liquidity to Uniswap, but I'm not sure if I benefit from convincing anyone to choose Uniswap over Sushiswap or anything else. On one hand, the more liquidity that goes into Uniswap, the less money that I make from fees. But on the other hand, the more people that trade on Uniswap, then the more money I make in fees. I think ultimately different decentralized exchanges will balance out in that liquidity will go to the exchanges that make the most profit from fees. So it's really just it's not like anything that I say that can really be that convincing. It's liquidity is going to go to where it makes the most money. So you can think of like a savings account. You're gonna or investing. Like you're gonna put your money to the place that gives you the most returns or potential returns on your investments. So really, yeah, it's whatever exchange can attract the most users that will win as the dominant exchange. It seems like today, the people who run the decentralized exchanges compete for liquidity and they're not competing for actual traders and users. They try to attract the most liquidity to the exchange, and they do this by creating an almost meaningless token other than for governance decisions. They create an almost meaningless token to reward liquidity providers with. So either Uni or Sushi by giving additional Uni tokens or Sushi tokens to people who provide liquidity on their platform. This can be a good short-term boost in popularity. You can think of like subsidized Xboxes, Xbox selling or Microsoft selling Xboxes at a loss to attract users to the Xbox platform and bring in people that will have invested in Xbox, have invested in the controllers and games and memory cards and that whole ecosystem. And then once they have all these people on board, then they're kind of theirs to control or whatever, so to speak. But the long game with the exchange is who can attract the most traders and not who can attract the most liquidity, because it's the traders who keep the liquidity from going to different exchanges. The more traders, the more trades on an exchange, well, then the more fees that there will be. So then the more liquidity providers will be able to make in fees. So people are going to dump their liquidity into the exchange that is giving them the most return on the liquidity that they're providing. Yeah, so the long game would be to convince developers to build their DApp using one decentralized exchange instead of another. If someone builds a popular DApp that exclusively relies on Uniswap for its trades, that will provide consistent fee profits to liquidity providers. For example, if someone builds a vending machine that accepts Ether to buy soda, well, then that vending machine, let's say that vending machine then automatically converts that Ether that's used to buy the soda. So someone's putting Ether into the soda machine to buy a soda. If that soda machine automatically converts that Ether into USDC using Uniswap, then this vending machine automatically converts the money into USDC and automatically places an order for new soda and for the person to come refill the soda machine. If that system exclusively uses Uniswap, then that's going to be consistent fees. That's going to be paid to liquidity providers. So if there can be like some type of, I don't want to say contract, but incentive that attracts this type of consistent fees and consistent trades, then I think that's going to be the best way to go. So say that like this business takes off and most vending machines in the world use Uniswap to make these automatic trades. Well, that'll be consistent profits to liquidity providers and keep liquidity providers at that decentralized exchange. Then the way that decentralized exchanges would attract more users would be competing with fees. So whoever can provide the lowest fees to the traders is who or the lowest fees to the vending machine company, or traders you can say too, will be who will integrate, who will get integrated into the system. So say that this vending machine provider is using Uniswap and Uniswap is charging them a 0.3% fee on their trades when they go to convert ETH to USDC, or if the vending machine accepts BTC, Litecoin, Ether, and they automatically convert this into USDC, the vending machine provider is going to choose whichever decentralized exchange is providing them the lowest fee on their exchange, so on their trade. So that would be how you would attract consistent trades to Uniswap and the decentralized exchanges, to have people building dApps that will automatically convert on Uniswap instead of on Sushiswap or whatever. Or maybe there would be another exclusive and compelling incentive for the vending machine to choose one decentralized exchange over another. I don't know what other exclusive and compelling incentives or reasons would be. Just the fees was like the first and easiest thing that I could think of. But I also find it, I don't know if disturbing is the right word or hypocritical is the right word. I'm not sure, but I find it, I don't find it in the best interest of Uniswap to try to attract more liquidity by offering incentives to liquidity providers. Because, and when I say incentives, I mean the Uni token providing additional value, additional money to liquidity providers via the Uniswap, the Uni token. I think that kind of goes against, like, if it's Uniswap's core belief, if it's Ethereum's core belief, and Hayden Adams, the founder of Uniswap, if it's the core belief that decentralization is good and decentralized exchanges are good, well, then the more decentralized exchanges that exist, the better it is. So trying to take money away from Sushiswap by implementing the Uni token to pay liquidity providers more, that seems like it goes against the philosophy of decentralization, and the more decentralization, the better. More exchanges to choose from, and so when you don't do that, when you just let the market play out, then you have more exchanges to choose from. And say that something goes wrong with Uniswap, well, then there's Sushiswap to back it up, so that the whole ecosystem will still work. And say something goes wrong with Sushiswap, say that funds get drained, or there's a hack, or it just shuts down for whatever reason, well, then we have Uniswap to fall back on. So it seems like you shouldn't, if your core belief is in decentralization, you shouldn't be trying to compete with getting the most users, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, so why do I think that Uniswap is better than Sushiswap? And this was like the main point of the video, the main reason I was making this video. Well, Uniswap has developed a working decentralized exchange. They're the ones who put all the time and dedication and passion into building it, as well as paid for the audits and everything like that. They put their time and effort into it, and they're the ones who paid for the audits and went through this whole process to make sure that it was safe to bring to the public, to bring to consumers. Hayden and others that are involved have been dedicated to Ethereum and building on the Ethereum ecosystem. Meanwhile, Sushiswap has just copied all of Uniswap's code and implemented it as their own. So to me, because of that, it seems like Uniswap can be trusted more than Sushiswap. And I'm not sure if this will happen, but I do wonder and I do worry. And I don't know if it will happen. I don't know if it could happen, but it is like a thought that comes in my mind because Sushiswap hasn't been as dedicated to Ethereum. I wonder if Sushiswap can attract a ton of liquidity onto the platform by offering these sushi token incentives. And then after they have all of this money on the platform, then they implement some type of code or something that can steal the funds from users. I'm not trying to say that this will happen, but there is like a general lack of trust because of that in the past that makes me worry about this. Like Sushiswap has already stolen code from Uniswap, and so it doesn't seem to me that they are morally opposed to stealing. So then another thing I was looking up. So this article is from September 2nd, 2020, and it says the headline is Sushiswap's founder emphasizes that the 27 million they hold is for dev share. So Sushiswap, an upcoming DeFi protocol forked from Uniswap's decentralized exchange, let me get a little drink, has grabbed numerous headlines in recent days. One such story pointed out that the project's pseudonymous head, known as Chef Nomi, maintains access to 27 million in sushi tokens. Cointelegraph reached out to Sushiswap's founder for further clarification in an attempt to ensure fair reporting, but the developer relayed their disinterest, simply responding with, "I don't have time for interviews, sorry." Oftentimes projects in the crypto space have to store funds set aside for project development and the like, complete with specific safeguards. One safeguard might see the assets out of reach unless unlocked by a group vote in the blockchain. So basically the problem is that this guy has like full control of these Sushiswap tokens, and you don't know if he'll just like run off with the money or something. But then, so this was published on September 11th. So 9 days later, the title is "I fucked up. Sushiswap creator Chef Nomi returns 14 million dev fund." So after this concern came about that he had 27 million tokens that he insisted were for the dev share, I guess. Well, he says, "In theory, I can sell all of them, but I don't see anything wrong with it. It's the dev share, and it's been specified in there since the beginning. It's not like I'm hiding that or anything. I will also spend for 2 audits. I will spend for the grants I just published a few hours ago." So then 7 days later, he sells $14 million out of that dev fund. And he's here on, well, I'll read like the article, but it says Sushiswap creator Chef Nomi has returned all 14 million in Ether that he cashed out from the automated market maker last week, apologizing to the community for suddenly liquidating his sushi holdings. So I would think like he would, because I'm thinking, well, maybe he sold so that he can pay for these audits and grants that he mentioned 7 days ago. You would think that he would alert the community beforehand, saying like, "Hey, I'm about to sell some of this sushi from the dev share to pay for audits and grants." But it doesn't seem like he alerted anyone or said any reason for why he's selling. So he just went out and sold all this stuff without letting anyone know, and then goes back and apologizes. Like, he wasn't like, "Oh, I sold this so I can pay for audits and for future development and everything like that," because if that was the reason, he would have said that and like the community would have been at ease. But he said Well, the article says the pseudonymous individual transferred the 38,000 ether back to the original developer fund soon before 1600 UTC. Nomi announced the decision in a tweet saying that whatever reward he deserves for creating the project would be decided by the community. So he took dev share funds that were supposed to be put towards the dev share, and he took them as his reward for creating Sushiswap, which, as far as I understand it, he didn't create, he just cloned Uniswap. So that's like another layer of mistrust that I see. I don't know. I'll link these two articles down in the description for you guys to see, but that's it. That's just my thoughts on that. That's why I think Uniswap would be the more trusted exchange to go with, and why I would shy away from using Sushiswap. All right, take care, guys. Thank you, and goodbye.